as I add myself to the stage, and I add my guy Eru to the stage, another Diehard State of Mind podcast. This is the 95th episode of Diehard State of Mind. So shouts to all the Knicks fans that's tuning in right now. Wanted to give y'all like a good hour or so before I have to like get out of here myself. Eru, what up, man?
Chilling, man.
You
almost got me in trouble, bro. You know what I'm saying? I said 11 o'clock, right? And then here it is, 12 o'clock. My wife, she got a honey-do list for me, man. So
so I apologize. Man.
Yo, it's dope that you keep putting how many episodes we did, because like, you know, we haven't done a pod in a while, but we used to do pods like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just funny how time goes like that, you know.
We got to get back to it. I'm noticing the people, they think I'm just overly biased. I say, you know what? I got to go back to Eru. I got to go back to somebody who just, so people can just understand, like, not everybody agrees, bro.
I'm one of your biggest fans, man, because, you know, we talk on YouTube and stuff. We do our pods, whatever, but like you have multiple different ways of expressing yourself. You know, the way that you talk on YouTube is different than how you talk on Twitter. It's different how you talk on the spaces. You know what I'm saying? It's different how you are in person too. So, you know, there's many different layers of the person, man. So people need to understand that. They get upset about you a lot, whatever, but a lot of people are entertained by it too. You know what I'm saying? But what makes me mad is that not everybody wants to acknowledge you when it's time to acknowledge, but they'll say your lingo, you know, all the time. I mention that on all my pods, bro. Every time I mention you, I always say something about you.
At this point, bro, hey, it's for the people. At this point, it's for the people. Just make sure y'all cop some merch or something.
That's another thing too. You're very generous with your merch, because you give merch away free, you know, which is dope too, man.
I used to.
The price of StreamYard done gone up, bro.
Yo,
StreamYard is like almost 100 beans now.
Yo, me and my guy Mike, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shouts to my guy Mike. We go thrifting downtown, right? So we'll go downtown. We get like random garments and stuff, because you know I like to do the merch thing. Andy, shouts to you, brother. And we like to do the merch thing. So we go downtown. We go thrifting. The t-shirts that used to cost $4, I'm joints $10 a pop now. So
no more free
family pack of hamburger meat is $20.
No joint, no. You know, all that merch now. I'm getting older, so I make merch for myself, and I'll be rocking that shit because I don't want to spend, you know, more money than I have to. You know what I'm saying, on certain things.
I agree. It's definitely a good source of, I don't even say income. I say it's like a good source of you expressing yourself to people. Yeah. It's like an art form. But Eru, we gotta get into the Knicks, man. We gotta get into Summer League. I guess we could start with Mike Brown first, because we haven't spoken in a while. Yeah. And obviously there was no plan that I wanted Thibodeau here next season. Like it was, I'm done. Like, I'm good. How do you feel about Mike Brown?
Yeah, I just want to double down. Okay.
And did you agree with the Tibbs firing at the time?
Well, it was you know, like that meme from Coming to America, where you know, Arsenio Hall spit out his drink when the girl says whatever she said. You know, that's exactly what happened to me. I'm one thing, like whatever I get like a notification. Tom Thibodeau is fired. I'm like,
you talking about the part when they was in the club?
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know, it was almost like a dream, because you know we all do pods and stuff like that. We argue with each other. You know, shout out to Phil. We had a big argument about a bunch of stuff, but it's all centered around Tom Thibodeau, because you can't even have a basketball conversation when we know that the guys are getting played too many minutes, that we don't really run those sets. At the end of we could play really good, and then at the end of the game we know the ball is just going into Brunson, and that's it. and we can't defend the 3-point line. So no matter what conversation you have, it always comes back to Tom Thibodeau. So, after all these years, no matter how much success that we had, it's like, damn man, how many times can we go back to the same thing? Because for a content creator, for us, it is not fun anymore. I saw you said something today that I'm coming to the timeline today to talk about Mikal Bridges and OG can't dribble for the 1,000th time. It's the truth, like we keep coming to these things and we saying the same shit over and over, arguing about the same points, but guys like Tom Thibodeau to get away with it, so
we had to get away from him, bro.
Yeah.
Love what he did, Walker Hall of Famer, a guy that I guess a lot of us respect, but it was time. There was nothing Thibodeau could do from this summer going in the next season where I say, oh, we're going to see something different. We did it for 4 years straight. And now it's like, okay, it's time to move on. Now we got Mike Brown, right? Mike Brown, one of the things that I love about him, well, a couple of things. He has a 59 winning percentage in the regular season. Yeah. I believe he has a plus 50% winning percentage in the playoffs, right? So he's proven in the playoffs. Also, love the fact that he's a minority. I think that's great. Shouts to James Dolan. James Dolan, I tell you all the time, he hires the most minorities in sports. Love that. And I also love the fact that he has no ties with nobody to the roster. Can you speak about nepotism real quick? Because one of the things that gets me mad about the Knicks and with Knicks fans, when I say, let's trade Mikal, and people be like, why you want to trade him? We don't got no goddamn ball handling. Oh, but is that going to make Jalen Brunson mad? Who cares?
Yeah, we had these conversations before. Let me fix this thing here. Yeah, we had these conversations before. It's like, yo, these guys, you want to play with their friends and stuff like that, or they want to win a championship. Like, do you really want to take a shower with this guy that bad, or do you want to win games? So that's always my thing with it, because people annoy me because like they try this, they say like your takes are like off the wall and this and that, but then they'll say stuff like that, but just because other people agree with it, it's okay. I just don't get it. Well, the nepotism stuff, you say, like, people are making a big deal about Brunson and his dad, but at the same time, they don't make a big deal about other things that just happened throughout the years and stuff. So it's annoying. When it comes to nepotism, let's say like Frank Layden just died. Frank Layden brought his son Scott Layden into the NBA. Nobody said nothing. Nobody said nothing. The Knicks went and hired this dude that had no experience. Just that his dad brought him into the league. He was with Utah. They had success in Utah, so then they brought him over to the Knicks thinking that he was going to bring success. But it was just nepotism. The guy didn't necessarily have had the resume and stuff. He just was brought up from his dad. So I mean, people are selective when that nepotism stuff, man.
Yeah, they definitely are. That's why I was like, it depends on the situation. I just think that with the Knicks per se, Leon needs to move away from what makes Jalen Brunson happy and go more into like what is going to help the team win the championship. Yeah. Right. Now it's currently constructed. I don't think the Knicks got a lot of athletes. So then we got Mike Brown. Mike Brown, Princeton offense. He loves UCLA cuts. He loves, his guys pushing the ball, notable. And Summer League, the Knicks was top 5 and getting into their first set on offense, right? Who was your standouts for Summer League? And do you think Mike Brown will play these guys out the gate, something that I've been imploring the Knicks to do?
Well, just Mike Brown, for instance, like he's always tapped into his bench, no matter who makes the team. So it's gonna come down to who makes the team and stuff. So we kind of have an idea who's gonna do it. The guys that played well, that we just have enough roster spots for these guys. So all those guys are gonna make it. But anyway, as the season goes on, Mike Brown has always played his bench, like giving guys days off or whatever, and then call guys up. But you don't just call, like, there's a difference though between the way Tom Thibodeau would do something and the way Mike Brown would do it. Mike Brown is the type of guy that in practice, he's empowering everybody. Everybody's involved in practice. He's involved in practice. So you can see it in the little clips that we see, and through our research, just on trying to figure out how this guy ticks. That's how Mike Brown's always done it. So he's empowering everybody from the number 1 guy all the way down to number 15 and the energy league. So whoever he calls to the table, they're all going to have the confidence to contribute. and they're going to be in the mix enough to know what's going on without having to, because I mean, guys will say, "Oh, Tom Thibodeau didn't even look at us." We like say like a guy like Fournier or just whoever, they're like on the sideline with the B team, not even practicing with the regular team. Like they say, I'm doing the best that I can to stay in shape over here, while the other guys, the 9 guys, they're over there doing what they're doing. So that Mike Brown is not about that. He got everybody there in the mix. Everybody knows what to do. So if something goes down, he could pluck a guy, and they have that confidence to contribute. So I think that's one major thing that we're going to see with Mike Brown.
Yeah, for sure. That bench. I seen one as I go to share screen and we put this on the screen. I seen one clip of Mike Brown, right? And I'm like, yo, Mike Brown, I'm wondering like if he would play a guy like Muhammad Diarra, right? And this was one of the guys that was standout for me in summer league, like super standout. Like I'm not even trying to like get on my state, the kid. No, this kid is from Paris, France, 6'9", 7'4" wingspan, 9'3" standing reach. He played for Cholet Basket in summer league. His stats wasn't good, bro. It was 22 minutes per game. Well, that's good for summer league. 7 points per game. That's more than what I expected. 40% from the field, 15% from 3, but 5.3 rebounds, 1.8 assists, and 1.3 steals. What do you think about this kid, Diarra? I love the fact that this kid, first of all, the fact that this kid played all positions on the basketball court for the New York Knicks. And what I mean by that, he's played small forward, power forward, center. How you feel about him, and what do you think, the Knicks should do with him moving forward?
Well, we love basketball, man. So, just bring up, Knicks Twitter Day. I had a great time watching because it was funny. A lot of stuff was funny. You know what I'm saying? So, but you could tell who could play right away. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of me bringing them up, is that like you could, like, no matter what team play, who won the tournament. If you're watching a game, you could always tell who could dribble, who could really ball and stuff. So, just looking at the summer league, it's like almost the same thing. It was like a lot of stuff was funny. It was kind of like, this guy, it's pretty funny, but the guys that could play always stick out. So like a guy like Diawara, however you pronounce his name, he there's little things that he was doing. See, like coming around the screen, giving himself enough space, understanding that the guy was falling back, and he stepped back and shot the 3. That is smart, man. Just to analyze this tape here, as you can see him going around the screen, getting just understanding what the guy is going to do. Stepping back to shoot the thing. He knows it's coming, so he's prepared for that. It's just a good basketball player, man. You can always just see just the way that the guys play, the way that he jumped on the ball and loose ball plays, the way that he burst out there on the fast breaks and stuff, his ability to finish, as you can see there. So I mean, a lot of good things that he brings to the table. But the minutes that he played and the points and stuff like that, it's kind of like it's kind of like messes up what we saw visually. Because the minutes and stuff, I'll blame that on the coach and whatever. Because I had a lot of complaints about just how they put the team together, because they had a lot of talent, but why was Dink Pate, why was he coming off the bench? He should have started. It's like certain things, like even as the summer league was going, you're starting to see who could play, but the best players never played together. They still was trying to start the other guys, and like that white dude, the center. I forgot his name. He was hilarious.
Lucas Skuka.
Yeah, Lucas Skuka. What?
Yeah.
That sounds like an NBA my player, but they started him. Yeah, they started him because they I guess because of what he can do out there on the floor. So they're trying to to emulate, I guess, Karl Anthony Towns with the 3-point shooting and stuff. But I was just more upset about how they put the roster together in the minutes and stuff, because a lot of guys that barely played actually played really well, but they just didn't get a chance to really shine.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And my summer league standout of them all is Dink Pate, man. I don't know where they found this kid at, but the fact, shouts to Dink Pate. First of all, he's 19 years old. Love that. Yeah. Dallas, Texas. Shouts to Dallas, Texas. 6'8" guard with a 6'10" wingspan. In the summer league, in 5 games he's played, He's played 17.6 minutes per game, 9.8 points per. He shot 40% from the field. But you know what I love about him, bro? He shot 50% from three and 88.9% from the free throw line. Then you love the fact that he got 6.8 rebounds per. Like, he's not some flat-footed guy. Like, he's gonna go get the rebound.
Yeah.
He also averaged 2.8 assists, 1 turnover, right? Played point guard, shooting guard, small forward. The fact that he's a willing rebounder, the fact that since 17 years old, he's played 50 pro games already before even coming in the summer league, and the fact that he shot 37.5% on catch and shoot threes is something that I love about him. I think he's a talent. I even put out there on Dink Pate. If you really like the talent when it comes to Dink Pate, you could start him, but that's up to the coach in trying to figure out where can he play this kid. That's on Mike Brown. What we can do right now is just hope that Mike Brown plays him, and I hope he do, because I like Dink Pate. I like Dink Pate. What you think about it?
Well, guys like him, guys like Diawara and Pacom, I just think those guys, they bring it every night. You mentioned the pro experience. He's been playing professional basketball since he was 17, and like playing in the G League. He never went to college and stuff. So he got to play with grown men. Not just to even add to that, he played in Mexico. He was playing in Mexico, so that's a whole nother thing. So the guy has a different maturity level compared to most guys his age. Same thing with Diawara. These guys, in France and stuff, they've been playing professional basketball because there's levels. Shout out to Andy from MBK. He's tapped in because he's from Europe. He's tapped into those leagues. So these guys been playing professional since they were like 13, because that's how the professional league goes. So that's where they come from. So guys that are even this other guy Huck Porty. Huck Porty is the same thing. He's been playing professional basketball for the longest time. So you have to tap into that. These guys are pros, So I would rather play guys that are familiar with systems, familiar with playing with grown men. Play those guys, try to challenge, channel those talents rather than getting into that whole development thing. Guys already been playing professional basketball, playing in other leagues, playing against grown men, playing in different languages and stuff, different continents. So these guys have a certain toughness about them. So these guys need to be tapped in. And it's not, like I said, not about development. It's about putting these guys in position to succeed. And I think Mike Brown is going to tap into that. He's just different than Tom, in that way. Even though that there's something going on here. They've been talking about Deuce McBride compared to Pacom and that type of thing. I saw somebody posted, I think Katz posted something today about that. I think that's they kind of like pushing it a little bit with that. But like I said, these guys are professionals, so you got to tap into that, rather than got that development word out there,
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. As far as like Pacom Daddy is concerned, he had 17 points in the summer league game. The other summer league game, he looked real pedestrian, but I don't blame that on him. His teammates was just ball hogs. And I look watching Marshawn Beauchamp and Kevin McCullough in summer league. I was losing my love for the game of basketball. You can tell when somebody is ball hogging and playing for a contract. Like, you can literally see it, right? And when I was watching Dink Pate, he was just playing his game.
Yeah.
We got he's undrafted signee. The Knicks, we got him, but he's playing his game. He ain't ball hogging. He's getting off the pill. If he misses a shot, he's trying to go get the rebounds, playing hard.
Yeah.
I'm watching Beauchamp literally not pass it to an open man and take a contested three. I'm like, yo, bro, big dog. You don't think I'm the only person watching this? Right. I know it's other people. And then Tyler Kolek, he was so garbage. I'm like, I can't even blame Pacom for this. This guard don't even know how to get him the ball. But I love the fact that they throwing out the Pacom Daddy propaganda. My only issue with it, Eru, and this comes back to the earlier combo, the roster.
Right.
Where is he going to play?
Yeah. At this point, we already mentioned two guys that played a similar position too. Diawara, Dink Pate, and Pacom. They're all going to be fighting for that same kind of position. So, who's gonna rise? Who's gonna rise to the top? You could talk about whatever you want to talk about, shooting and practice and all this, but you got Dink Pate on his ass. Diawara was on his ass. So these guys they have to show it. Shout out to all the conversations we ever had. I saw somebody was joking. They was mentioning this guy Frank Ntilikina. They brought back Paul. Chris Paul. Why not bring back Frank Ntilikina to the Knicks? It's a funny joke, but remember arguing about him and how development and all this other shit. Either a guy could play or he can't. If he's showing that he can't play, then he can't. You got to move on from it. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that now we're in a better position now, to make those decisions. So, but to keep it funky, when it comes to like these players, guys like Mikal Bridges too, they're on a hot seat because we haven't yet, rewarded him with an extension. You know what I'm saying? Because these young guys are coming up. If these young guys could start to prove that they have a pulse, then we can have the luxury of not signing a Mikal because we can push up Dink or push up somebody else along the line.
I definitely agree. The only thing I don't agree with, I think all three players played three different positions. I think that's the beauty of it. I think Dink Pate, shooting guard, point guard. I think he's a guy, he can bring up the ball. He got some beep bop boop to him. Pacone, I think he could play if they're not lying, right? I believe Fred Katz. Fred Katz, he's tapped in. It's certain Nick beat reporters on my when they put out a story, Fred Katz and Bagley, you got my eye, you got my ear. I'm listening. If they saying Pacone could shoot in practice, and they could probably transfer into regular games, he could play shooting guard, small forward. Diawara, I think in the NBA, I think he's a power forward, small forward center. But the only thing about Diawara, he just don't block no shots. He had 0 blocks in summer league.
Yeah.
Put your hands up.
But he got the wingspan and stuff. He was doing a lot of ball handling, and then also too, just the minutes was all messed up and guys are like crashing into each other, all kind of stuff. Summer league is bugged out. But I think he has that in him. I think he has that in him. If somebody's driving on him, I don't think he's going to. He doesn't seem like a pussy. That just to translate it down to layman's terms. You know what I'm saying? So I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I was a little worried at first. I thought about the Frank Ntilikina pickup. Like how we keep getting these guys from France, and we got Gershon Yabusele, so we got a nice little stable of guys from France. But
yeah,
I was wondering if the Knicks would draft differently than they have before. What do you think Tyler Kolek's struggles was, and to tie it into Deuce McBride and Jordan Clarkson, do you think Kolek could get any minutes this season? Because in my opinion, I think the Knicks should just trade him. I think he has no place here, and I think he's a Tibbs pick anyway. So
I agree with that. I agree with what you're saying. I just don't care. He has a future here. We already have Brunson, and Brunson's going to play the majority of the minutes. Now you just added Jordan Clarkson for this year, and now you're talking about Deuce McBride, who I don't like either. I would like to get rid of him too, but I feel like he's at the top of his thing, So I mean that's something to crack open too. But just using that alone, you got 4 guys now. You got Mikal, you got him, and then you can even add Josh into that mix. So where does Kolek play? So you're keeping him there for the future. Our window right now for a championship is maybe like 2-3 years right now, maybe 3 years. Say 3 years for the Knicks. So when does Tyler Kolek play? When he's 27? So I'm with you. We he has a certain amount of talent. So we need to trade the value for him to another team. Not saying that when we talk about trades and stuff, people say, "Oh, you're going to trade him for this, that, and the other. Oh, this guy, you're going to trade his talent away." But yeah, you trade talent for talent. So we're going to trade Tyler Kolek and get back something that we can use for our roster. It's no knock to Kolek that Kolek is trash, or not that we're so stupid that we traded Kolek away. How would you trade Kolek away? Yeah, but think about it. How old is Kolek? Like he's literally 24 years old, however he is, right?
24.
He's like 24. So like in like 3 years, when say Brunson is starting to decline, now you're going to talk about starting a 27-year-old center. In between time, how many more players can we pick up along the line that could fill in spots, man? So I'm just not with that idea. So I agree with you. I would trade Kolek as fast as we could, you know. But like I said, it would have to bring something to help us, not just to trade away for nothing.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not giving him up for nothing. I see talent there. Like
Yeah,
it's not like you know. Well, he averaged 12 points, shot 34% from the field, I believe, and I believe he shot 17% from three. Maybe you can attribute that to his teammates, but even if your teammates ain't that good, you're still supposed to show some type of production, you know. And no, he can rebound. He can assist a little bit. He's just too small. Like I'm done with this whole small guard era. Like I'm done with that era, bro. I'm done.
yeah. Just a guy like Kolek, you know, if he was 6 foot, like say if he was 6'4" or 5", then his value would be better because he likes to play physical. You know, so how many times up the court he's like walking the ball up the court, and then he'll drive and he'll just have the guy on his shoulder, and then he'll bump the guy, and then shoot, you know, off like that. You know, you can't play like that. Like
No.
you could play against me and you like that, maybe in a G League, but playing it in the NBA like that, you're taking away from what everybody else is doing because of this you know, shenanigans that you got going on trying to get your shot off. You know, his 3-point shot is lit. You know, but you know, other people can shoot too. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think it's just time to get off of this guy. You know, like, you know, he has an eye for lead passes, throwing lead passes out there, but he only throws a lead pass because he can't get up the court. You know, so he's looking to throw the lead pass because guys are you can see in the summer league, they were looking to strip him every time he was dribbling the ball up the court. So, you know, whatever with Kolek, man.
That's definitely true. The chat is booming.
Yeah, shout out to
We
the chat.
good, athletic, lengthy players. Shouts to Sully, Diarra, Pate, and Pacom. They could be a problem going forward. I mean, a good problem. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Shouts to Knicks loyalty. Problem is we're in a 2-3 season window.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Mike Brown getting 5 years from me. Y'all let me watch Thibodeau and goddamn, I felt like you remember Tales in the Hood? The I think it was the fourth story in there where homie he killed the three homies and they locked him up in the insane asylum and they had his eyes open. That's how I felt with Tibbs. That's how I felt with Tibbs. So I want everybody else to feel that with Mike Brown. We're gonna keep him for 5 years. So the championship and bust notion, I don't have that for Mike Brown. It's not on him. That's on the players. That's on Leon Rose. So
Yeah.
not on Mike Brown.
Yeah, it's not fair. Shout out to who said that? Mills out of all people. She said, if you know Mike Brown doesn't do that, I'm over it. You know, whatever she said, you know, like but a lot of and you're singling her out because I remember the tweet, but other people saying the same thing, man. But if you look at you know, and then people were saying that this is a downgrade. But if you look at the histories, if anything, resume wise, Mike Brown got a better resume than Tom Thibodeau. You know, Tom Thibodeau, what has he done in his career? He's won a championship as an assistant coach with Doc Rivers, who's another asshole. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Mike Brown. He might have taken LeBron James, you know, high, you know, whatever, got 60 wins with LeBron James, but he did it with other organizations too. He's won 3 championships as an assistant coach, not just as the guy on the bottom, you know, as the top assistant, you know, 3 championships, as a player. He's won 60 games a couple times as a head coach. You know what I'm saying? I've been coach of the year. What, twice? How many times? Twice, right?
Twice, yes.
Yeah, coach of the year twice. This year, he probably is going to win coach. If we win again, he's probably going to win coach of the year this year. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the resumes are equal, but like I said, if not, Mike Brown is better. You know, so you know, I just don't get people, man. So your championship or bust stuff. Who else could we have hired at this point to take on that load? There was nobody because all the people we were talking about were guys that had no coaching experience. You know, so you know, whether you like it or not, Mike Brown is the guy that we needed. And you know, you mentioned before Princeton offense. You know what I'm saying? The UCLA cuts and this, that, and the other. That type of offense that he runs is what we need. Is what we all have been asking for. You know, and then he already mentioned to Mike Brown that he has a solution for the 3-point defense. He has a solution for it already. So you know, it is what it is. We good money, I think, with Mike Brown. You know.
Oh, he said he got a solution for it.
Yeah, he said it in like passing. He said, yeah, the 3-point line. Yeah, he basically said, yeah, well, I have a solution for that. Because like right off the rip, man, we have the length. It's just about the philosophy, the drop coverage or die. Under Tom Thibodeau, we like no adjustments. Right, we never made adjustments. I see people are saying adjustments. No, I think Cully's saying adjustments. People are saying adjustments. We never made adjustments. So how and then on top of that, how people are just jump on Tom Thibodeau's thing. Oh, he's a great coach. I don't know what the Knicks are doing, but you're not saying it from a basketball standpoint. You're saying it from an emotional standpoint. Guys like us, we watch 82 games a year, sometimes more than once. And then we talk before, after, during the game. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do as podcasters and stuff. So you can't pull the wool over our eyes, bro.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Mike Brown do got a better resume than Thibodeau. When Sis said that, I immediately went under her tweet. I said, listen, you Thomas Thibodeau merchant, you're going to love Mike Brown just like I am. And you going to shut the F up and fit. You going to love Mike Brown.
That's true. Let it happen. Watch when the Knicks start playing. Watch when we start playing. We're going to notice it's going to be a stark difference of how we approach the basketball games. And then, then people are going to be on the bandwagon like they always are.
Yeah. Listen, Mike Brown showed me his own. I'm sold. That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it, man. Yeah. Tim got all of them years, so Mike Brown. So should Mike Brown. But it depends on Leon could get grimy and give him 3, and they may blow it up if they want. Yo, brother Noomsi. I watched Leon Rose sell his soul to Thibodeau and trade all my kids away, trade all my first-round picks away. That man can't be fired until he brings me a goddamn superstar. He's going to die as the Knicks president until he brings me a superstar. Brunson's not a superstar to me. Cat is not a superstar to me. He still hasn't done his job yet. He got a bunch of layups. Brunson is a layup. That's a layup. That's not him going out and being savvy to me, right? OG, that is a layup. Even though OG, he's overpaid. You paid him $12 million to get the defense right. The defense got worse. In the playoffs, he had 5 points, 2 points, 6 points versus the Celtics, was completely trash versus Indiana and could not guard Pascal Siakam. So you give him $212 million. You give Mikal 5 first-round picks and Josh Hart 2 first-round picks. So that's 7 first-round picks between 2 guys versus Indiana who can't score. And Brunson try to be so much of the good guy. This is why you can't win championships with your friends. Gave up $100 million. And you want the Knicks to give Mikal 100 plus? Why?
I'm with you, man. I'm right there with you. I'm right with you, man. Yeah, but I'll say this. I say this about Leon Rose with the whole superstar thing. Like we have enough to get somebody, even though we don't. Like say we gave away all these draft picks and stuff. We still got some extra draft picks to trade, and then we got salaries to trade too, and we got young players. We just mentioned all of it. We just finished talking about all of that. You know what I'm saying? So we do have a package to get quote unquote superstar here. So that's the problem. So let's say if Leon Rose does that. Because he's proven that he can wait to training camp to make a trade. That cat trade was made on media fucking the day before media day. He did that trade, man. So, so Leon Rose could do it again. So my thing with this though is like, we just don't want even like a cat trade. I was gonna say Melo, but even Cat might have been a too much. Like sometimes like we got Mikal Bridges, we traded 5 draft picks, and then right after that, then we get Cat. So it might have been too much at one time, but we still made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying? So like if we do it again, is that next move too much? Are we doing too much? But like we mentioned it all today. Like let's say if we did trade a Mikal away, or we did trade an OG away, and in a deal say to get Giannis here. So now we got Giannis, Cat with Brunson, but But if you believe in the players that we drafted in summer league, like Dink Pay and Diarra, then we good money. Then we still have players in the pipeline to fill in spots. So we should still be good. The talent is still going to be there. Because you're talking about rotational players. You know what I'm saying? So we should still be good if we do make these type of trades.
I'm almost at the point where if the Knicks don't sign Ben Simmons, and I don't know how you feel about Ben Simmons, but if they don't sign Ben Simmons, playmaker, guy who assisted on the most three-pointers made before he got hurt in 2021, so his first 4 or 5 years of his career, a guy who could consistently get in the paint, a guy who could guard 1 through 5. I don't know what his mentals is like. That's the problem with a lot of us Knicks fans. We don't know what his mentals like, but I think his mentals would be good because we've got a good roster. If we're not getting Ben Simmons, and my bench unit is not Ben Simmons, Garrison Yabusele, Jordan Clarkson, Deuce McBride, Josh Hart, or something like that, I don't see the reason why the Knicks should pick up anybody. Play the kids. Play them.
Yo, man, that Ben Simmons thing, I've been obsessed with that shit. I've been looking at it. I was looking at a video today. You hit me up to do the pod. I was thinking about, because I haven't done a pod in a while myself. So I'm actually on vacation for 3 weeks, bro. So I'm gonna be going crazy for 3 weeks. I'm gonna be putting out content like you would not believe for the next 3 weeks. But anyway, just the Ben Simmons, I would actually start him. You know what I'm saying? Start him, and then just have him in that. People keep saying that Draymond Green role because they have no other point of reference. But just having an extra ball handler. The Knicks don't. You say it all the time. We don't have nobody that could dribble the ball besides Brunson. Us bringing the ball up the court, Brunson is risking his life every day just to get the ball across half court. Mikal can't do it. Nobody else can do it. But now if you put Ben Simmons there and he's bringing the ball up the court, now everybody can spread out. And you can make these cuts. You can have this Princeton offense where guys are rolling around to the basket and having Ben Simmons do the point of attack. Now Brunson can chill, and get his little shots, whatever. So when it's time for Brunson to get the ball, he'll be fresh because the whole game Ben Simmons was like you said, passing it to the open 3-point shooters. That's all Mikal and Bridges wants. They just want to catch open shots, and Ben Simmons is going to do that all day. And the same thing with Cat. Cat is in the same thing. They both basically all three the same kind of player. They all just want to shoot threes. You know what I'm saying? So Ben Simmons with his action is going to be able to do that. And then you add Brunson just to basically doing what he's doing. I think that's a tough starting lineup. And then you don't lose defense because you mentioned my man could guard 5 positions, and he's a legit 6'10". So I mean, that shit would be dope. But I think the Knicks, how much money the Knicks have left? Like $3 million, right? Something like that.
I think it's like 3.6 million or something like that.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. Like 3.6 million. This was one of the starting lineups. One of the lineups I had. Knicks fans was not feeling this stuff.
Yeah, if you're talking about it depends on how you look at the basketball game, though, right? Like I think me and you are looking at it the same way, right? He could guard multiple positions, so you can kind of cheat a lot of ways. It's going to allow Brunson and Mikal to guard the spots they're supposed to guard, and then it's going to create havoc because Ben Simmons could take his man at all times, and then everybody's going to be open. It's a field day for a coach, with that type of talent like that, so. It depends on how you think how the Knicks are going to run their offense,
No, I definitely agree. I'm a guy, I don't want Jalen Brunson with the ball in his hands every play. Mm-hmm. I think that's not conducive to championship basketball. And with that said, I heard something from Iman Shumpert the other day, and he was basically talking about Trae Young. And the same way how I feel about Trae Young is the same way how I feel about Jalen Brunson. Now, I just want to play this for you real quick and play this for the listeners. The people.
I think back on that quote that I was talking about when Kevin Durant said he thinks the 6-foot point guard might be coming to an end.
Oh, yeah, when he was on Mind the Game.
And this is what I think he was talking about, where you're saying, yes, Trae Young, statistically, what he brings to a game of basketball, I get it. At 6, what is he, 6'2"?
6'3".
6'2", 6'3". It's tough to say, can he switch on to a 5 at the end of the game? Can he guard a bigger guard? Can he? What are the other things that he can do besides score it? Can he make a 2-guard a scoring champion? Those are the things that we're thinking about and we're looking at when we're thinking of a smaller guard. You're thinking of a guy that can get guys going, that could pitch ahead, especially after seeing OKC and Indiana in the finals. You have to be thinking we have to change our game and change our style a little bit to make sure that we're pitching ahead, we're moving the baton, and we're making sure the other guys are getting off. If you don't have 3 or 4 guys that are weapons on your team, if there's only one head to cut off the snake, then it's going to be a tough day for them.
Yo, when I heard that, it gave me a sense of relief. I got tired of Knicks fans like placing unwanted narratives on like certain people on Knicks Twitter or like myself and others. When we get at Brunson, we say, hey, Brunson, love the Jalen Iverson stuff. Can you get me 10 assists though? Instead of dribbling the air out the basketball. And that's a part of Thibodeau too.
Yeah.
Right? That's Thibodeau's the main reason why he's done that. Thibodeau, Kirk Heinrich, Derrick Rose, Nate Robinson. He traded Ricky Rubio for Jeff Teague, you know. So like, how do you feel about that? About the whole like, hey Brunson, my guy, love the 26-6. I think I would marry 21-10 more. Like, fall back off shooting. Like, you need to let some of your guys take you home. And that's, I don't know. He's just too small, man. He's just too small.
You know, but you know, with Shump, I got something to say about the Shump thing. But you know, just to paraphrase a little bit, it's just that, you know, like we get into copycat stuff, you know, because like we just seen, this guy 6'5" go to the NBA finals and stuff, you know, and other stuff. So then now all the comments are like going to what worked this year. But if Brunson was a championship, right? Let's say the Knicks win the championship with Brunson as the point guard, whatever, and you know, whatever. Then people are gonna say, oh, we're gonna need a scoring point guard, you know, like Brunson. That's what people are gonna say if the Knicks win the championship. If the Knicks win multiple championships throughout the years, then we're gonna be the blueprint of what to do to get a championship. So I take some of the things that these guys say with a grain of salt though, because like, you know, just to add history to it, like they've been saying short point guards are no good forever, you know, because the phrase "mouse in the house" did not just happen today. You know, the phrase "mouse in the house" or whatever has been they've been saying that since basketball's been around. Like when you get a mismatch, you got a little guy in the paint, give the ball to the guy that's over him and let him score. You know, in today's NBA, they don't do that. You know, you see Cat on what's my man's name from Indiana that was locking him up, to tell you the truth.
Yo, Andrew Nembhard.
Yeah,
Nembhard. I don't know if it was Nembhard or no, just every single wing. Matter of fact, that was on Indiana was giving him problems a little.
Yeah, Nembhard was in his shorts and he couldn't get past Nembhard. You know, so guys don't even know how to take care of the little guy now. So, you know, like I said, that's why I take these little comments with a grain of salt, because you know, it's just you just copying of what's hot now, so you can sound right. You know what I'm saying? You know, not for nothing, people say that about you, but then they go and click and share and talk about another guy that's basically doing the same thing. So I don't get people, man. You know, but it's all good. You know, I got my eyes open. we see things that happen. You know, but it's like whatever, man. You know, you guys can do what you want to do. You know, there's so much people making content. Whatever you want to follow, just go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah, I've gotten past that point of trying to make anybody happy. The hell with it. If you don't like it, it's 2 buttons on Twitter. It's block and mute. I can't tell you how many people I'm muted with.
Yeah.
3
Yeah, I block and mute a lot of people, man. You know, block and mute. Shout out to I like to say people's names because people don't be saying names. Stop with the subliminal shit. Like Lee Escobedo, I blocked him because he's one of those guys that wants to dissect your tweets and I'm going to like, you know, I'm gonna roast your tweet like we're in a fucking like reality show or some shit. Like, man,
battling.
Yeah, like what the fuck is this? I open up my app, you know, and I say something about what's the guy's name? The center that we had last year that everybody was saying that he should play some minutes. So he comes on my page talking about he hasn't done nothing in his career, and then I immediately showed him a clip when he was at OKC getting 20 and 10. You know what I'm saying? So he's been doing things, and he averaged 10 points per game in OKC when in his younger years. So he's not completely trash. The guy deserves an opportunity. I'm talking about 15 man on the roster spot, and then he wants to turn it into a battle. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I'm using him as an example because I think he's the last person that I blocked, because one of the guys I also blocked too is your man. I hate Sean. I had him blocked for a long time, whatever. But he extended his hand to me at the Knicks Twitter day, and I shook his hand and I said something to him. I said, "Yo, man, I appreciate you, coming together with this event, whatever." So the beef is over, So I unblocked him and then I muted him. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do in here, So I'm not with the funny business down here,
Yeah.
You got to keep it funky.
That's a fact. You don't see me arguing with nobody on timeline no more. You get muted. You gonna be talking to yourself, bro.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it. I had blocked the guy. He had put a comment under something that you a picture of me and you put, whatever. And I said something. I was like saying something about you, and he was like, "Oh, why don't you something sexual about me and you? Like, oh, why don't you do something?"
Yo, come on, bro.
It's like, come on, dude. Like we be outside too. You know what I'm saying? Like, just chill out. Just it's just basketball, fam. It's just basketball. Like if you want to start a podcast, go ahead, start a podcast, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, meanwhile you sitting and watching us, just have some fun, man. Like, let's chill the fuck out.
Yo, dude, it should have ended like once Tibbs got fired, like that whole era of stuff like that. And it hasn't, but I don't get into those arguments no more. I say what I say. You disagree? Okay, cool. You gonna get the me while I'm looking up? I'm like, our convo is done because I'm not getting through to you. If I'm not gonna waste my motherfucking hours trying to get through to somebody who's just, you want to still think how you think. Your mind is in a box. Okay, cool, no problem.
Yeah.
We don't know what he's going to run. Mike Brown, bro, nostalgia chick, do your homework. I don't know about you. I've been doing some homework on Mike Brown. Kind of know what he's gonna run. And if you watch Summer League, for example, Muhammad is a perfect example. Knicks never ran what, Eru? 4-5 pick and roll. Never ran 3-4 pick and roll. Never ran 3-5 pick and roll. Never ran 5-3 pick and roll. None of that.
Nothing.
I watched a lot of that in Summer League. That 3-4 pick and roll, the 4-5 pick and roll. So I'm intrigued. I also seen a lot of pick and roll play, like in general, even though the Summer League players was ball hogging. I hope the big club don't do that nonsense. We now have basketball-minded clipboard working coach in Mike Brown. The kids will actually get better and turn into assets. I'm not interested in trading kids right now, I'll be honest with you. What's the solution he has? Without a proficient three-point shooters or strong active wing defenders other than OG, who by himself out there most nights? This is why I will play a kid. Love Josh Hart, but he's 6'4". What you going to say, you?
Well, I was just going to say that it just came back down to Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau makes all of us look like a bunch of morons, because we're arguing points that make sense, but it don't make sense because Tom Thibodeau is not doing anything that we're saying, So like Josh Hart, you just mentioned him. How many times did Josh Hart end up with Luka? What's his name? Luke Cornett on Boston. How many times did he end up standing in front of him and get spiked? But we kept running the same thing with the ball ending up in Josh Hart's hand, him having to go one-on-one against Cornett. But my thing is simply, what are we doing to counter it? We just keep going back to the same thing and expecting Josh Hart to do something spectacular against a guy that's like you just said, he's 6'4". Like Cornett is legit 7 feet tall. Like, what are we doing here? So these conversations about, what is Mike Brown gonna run and this, that, and the other, like we don't know what he's gonna run. But I mean, watching these basketball games, with watching Tom Thibodeau, you can't say that whatever Tom Thibodeau was doing was good, was working, So I mean, that's the thing with us too. Like we're crazy. Me and you are freaking nuts. We sit here and we analyze basketball. We love it. That's the reason why we wasting time out of our lives sitting in front of a camera talking shit, whatever, because we can't get it out of our system. You know what I'm saying? So the research and stuff is what I'm trying to say. So if you want to know, we don't know what he's gonna run. Listen, man, go. It don't take long, man. Like, this is what we love. Go look at old footage of what Sacramento did, or even what Cleveland did. Compare what he did in Cleveland compared to what he did in Sacramento. Look at some of the offense that compared Sacramento to Golden State, and just see what he brought from Golden State to his coaching style. Just watch that, and then you can have an idea of what the Knicks will be trying to do. And then if once you do that, put our players in those spots, and then you would see like, okay, I could see how this guy's gonna get off. I could see how this could alleviate stress, this, that, and the other. This is what we do. So I get it. People watch us because they want to hear us break it down and bring these topics up. But I challenge you guys to not just wait for people to do that. You know what I'm saying? We love this game. Learn the game. And then you could be more part of the conversation.
Two comments stick out to me. Cat was MVP status last year. JB was hating, froze him out. Yo, when Brunson came back, yo, that's not on Brunson. I'm not gonna put that on Brunson.
Yeah,
that's coaching. That's coaching. I can't even put that on him. Jordan numbers in the playoffs, not a superstar. Brother Noomsi, I'm gonna give you the uncomfortable truth. I would take Paolo Banchero over the whole Knicks roster. Why is that? He's 6'10". Hey, he can get his own shot. The Jordan numbers is cute. Them Jordan numbers ain't help us win a goddamn championship, and we still on a 53-year title drought. So if you love numbers in the playoffs, JB's been great. Individual. If you love the individual, I'm a Knicks fan. We lost to Indiana back-to-back playoff years. I don't give a damn what his playoff numbers is.
Yeah. Speaking of Jordan, because I didn't bring him up, somebody brought him up, right? He said, just putting the Jordan numbers, right? Like legit, Brunson is averaging like 30 points per game in the playoffs like the last 3 years or so. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but Jordan didn't win the championship until he started passing the ball. And then how did that happen? It didn't just because he did it on himself. He got a coach here that brought in a system that worked into Jordan's advantage. So Jordan went from 38 points per game like a maniac, during the 80s, you know what I'm saying, to like dropped it down to 32 to 30.
How you drop it down to 32?
That's what I'm saying. But that's Jordan though. But then in the second run, it went down to 28. You know what I'm saying? And then he was able to win 3 straight, and that little, but still leading the league in scoring, but 28 points per game, like that. So that's what is going to need to happen. But it doesn't happen individually. Like Jordan didn't just start. Oh no, it was Pippen that did it. It's not that simple, fam. Like this is organized basketball. So it's the system that they played that worked not just for Jordan, it also worked for Pippen too, to get him loose. It helped other guys, Cartwright and some of the other bums that they had at center. It gave them a role that they can latch onto, and they gave the shooter, they were shooters, but he put the shooters in places where they would get the ball, and then they were ready for it. So that's what systems bring. Mike Brown is going to bring a system. Hopefully, this Princeton, just think of Princeton offense. Look up the Princeton offense, and then you'll see Golden State stuff that Golden State does, and just look at that type of stuff, and then just imagine our players in those positions, and then on paper it should work. I think it should work pretty good. So, but we'll just have to see.
I think, but it only works like. I'll give you an example. The Golden State Warriors, each time they won a championship, they had multiple ball handlers, multiple beep bop boop guys. We know Steph a beep bop boop guy, right? The first time the Warriors was winning championships, who was the other beep bop boop guys? Sean Livingston. You couldn't guard him in the mid range.
Sean Livingston. He basically made his career back during that era. He was good. Iguodala. Yeah, we about to still be on the same shit. We on the same page, you know what I'm saying? So I get it.
Those guys can put the ball on the floor. So you can get a Princeton offense if you got those guys. All you need is smart, productive bigs, like Maurice Spates, by the way. Shout out to Maurice Spates. Well, that's all you really need, smart. With the Knicks, they gotta make a trade, bro. I don't see it, bro. That's just me. There's nobody else. I don't see it with this current group. where the playmaking is going to come from consistently to where I trust this group. If we just, because I think OG and Mikal, they like cancel each other out now. Like, they both need to play the small forward. None of them is power forwards, and none of them is shooting guards.
Yeah.
Thibodeau roster.
Yeah, the rebounding too. We got OG slotted in at the power forward spot, at least last year, the entire year. The guy averages 4-point-something rebounds per game.
Thinks that rebound. Oh my God.
Yeah, so I mean, that's Tom Thibodeau forcing guys to do things that they don't normally do. Now you're expecting OG to get like, I mean, expecting him to get 7 rebounds per game is asking a lot for a dude that only averages 4-point-something.
Yeah, he's not that guy. I found out very quickly.
And then Mikal is right there, right behind him, 4-point-something as well with Mikal. So, you know, you're asking a lot for guys that they can't bring. So I'm with you with the ball handling too, because neither one of those guys could ball handle. You know, if they can get Mikal wants to get to his spot so he could turn around, pass it, or fade away. That's what he wants. This guy OG wants to just go to the basket, beeline. You know,
Yeah.
he can't do nothing else. He can't create his own shot at all. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we're definitely stuck in those spots. And then Cat is basically, at least last year, was doing the same thing, just kind of like beeline to the basket, shoot the 3. That's all he wants to do. So there's a balance missing. So, you know, that's why the Ben Simmons thing is attractive to some of us. You know, so I'm with it. So what like with trade, bro? Like what are you thinking about, like far as trade wise?
Kobe White, LaMelo Ball. I'm gonna keep throwing LaMelo Ball name out there. I don't care about how Knicks fans feel about him. He is the perfect backcourt mate for Brunson. If I could just drop a backcourt mate for him, it would be LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
Somebody I could tell Brunson, hey, go F yourself. You go in the corner. Do you see this man that's guarding me? I'm going to work. And I trust him going to work. Right?
Yeah.
I can't trust OG Mikal to go to work. Cat to go to work. Why? Cat is a third option.
Yeah, I agree with that. We just need that extra guy to go to work. Jordan Clarkson is nice, but you know, Jordan Clarkson at this age is not that guy anymore. You know, but he's gonna be dope coming off the bench. But we can't rely on him to be that guy. But let's say if Jordan Clarkson was 28, you know, then next to Brunson, that would probably would have been nice.
That would work. That would work if he was 28. Yes.
Yeah, but he's not that in that age anymore. So I get it, man. You know, adding Jordan did definitely help. But I mean, we definitely need that. We need another one. We need somebody else.
Yeah, that's what I've been looking for the past like couple of weeks. The ball handling and just the Knicks, they gotta find a guy who can like put the ball on the floor. So like I looked at guys like Kobe White, LaMelo Ball. I said obviously Giannis is out there. Obviously LeBron is out there. Ben Simmons is out there. Those are the only names I want to see. Everybody else is off the board. For me, I wanted Lonzo. He's off the board. A lot of the other guys off the board.
Yeah, some of the guys off the board too. I was looking at D'Angelo Russell, just for the simple fact that he can ball handle and he could play shooting guard too. You know, so he would have been dope too. You know, just for that look. We definitely need that look. Yeah,
Ben Simmons is an Australian player, not built for New York. Nobody has to guard him. That's the point. Like now I'm gonna reverse it to you, right? Nobody has to guard him. They got to guard the other 4 guys. So Ben Simmons, you gonna give him a free lane to the rim every time? I just need him. I just need somebody to grab him by the shake him a little bit, shake him. You shake him. Say, you're 6'10", bro. Who gonna guard you? Got Brunson, Cat, OG, Mikal. All great catch and shoot guys. Who's gonna guard you?
Yeah, that's what makes him adding to the team makes more sense, because you know you can allow him to cheat and dribble off the ball. Because if you back off of Ben Simmons because he can't shoot, he's gonna keep coming toward you. You know what I'm saying? And then that's gonna collapse the defense, and it's gonna get OG and Mikal the shots that they want. Brunson is a good catch and shoot player too. Even Cat. You know, Cat, Mikal, OG, all these guys are good catch and shoot 3-point shooters. So if you got a guy like Ben Simmons, so you don't have to guard him. Okay, then don't guard him. Then he'll just keep going to the basket and kick it out to the other guys. You know.
Shouts to Jarrell. Fans gonna hate Ben Simmons, yo. Just because he's capable of doing stuff doesn't mean he's actually doing. We ain't do shit in 53 years. Who are we? It's like, nah, I don't want him. Nah, I don't want him. Who are we?
Then also too, we thinking about roles too. When he comes here, Tom Thibodeau's not the coach. You know what I'm saying? So when Ben Simmons comes here, he's not going to play 53 minutes a game. You know. When Ben Simmons comes here, he'll probably play what he's been playing recently, like maybe 23 minutes per game. You know.
I also take stock into. I think let me highlight this guy because a lot of people. Casey Smith on the New York Knicks is the best medical doctor in basketball. You have to take advantage of Casey Smith. Ben Simmons would be a guy that would thrive because of Casey Smith. Let me make sure that all you goddamn fans, make sure y'all go click on this Substack article that I wrote about Casey Smith. This is one of the best medical doctors in basketball. The best unknown hire in Knicks history. Please go read that. He's the reason why OG is healthy. He's the reason why Mitch is healthy. You notice Mitch ain't getting no knickknacks.
Yeah.
None.
OG was always due for one. He didn't have one all year, so that's dope.
So I take stock of the Casey Smith. So that's why guys like Ben Simmons and those guys, I really like those guys. I just don't know where Ben Simmons is going to play. If we do get Ben Simmons, Ariel Hakaporti, Bacon Daddier, all the young guys, yeah, y'all going to have to get redshirted next season, right? Because there's no reason why Ben Simmons should not be playing. Well, unless he's just mentally not capable of good.
That's the other thing, though, because he does have that personality, weirdo personality, and he could be a dirty dick motherfucker too. You know what I'm saying? Like a Dirk. What's the name? What's my man's name? That was with the Lakers, Derek Fisher. He's a Derek Fisher on the low. You know what I'm saying? He'll be saying what's up to you. He'll give you a pound. Meanwhile, he's like rubbing your wife's arm, on the slide and shit. You know what I'm saying? While he's giving you a pound and shit. So Ben Simmons is that guy too. You know what I'm saying? So. Gotta be careful what you wish for on certain things too. But like you said, the team itself, everybody's married and stuff like that. Everybody's good. So if he came through, it could still work. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. That's definitely a fact. I'm mad as hell because I gotta actually. I didn't even know it was like 1-on-1. So,
yeah, my wife is already. I'm already getting there right now. So,
yeah, I gotta work.
Gonna be living with you. You got to work today? God damn. Hey guys, can you give us a like, share, subscribe, possibly super chat or something, and give us a super chat. My man about to get written up and shit. And I'm gonna need another place to stay if this podcast.
Oh man,
crazy. Speaking of which, I see on Twitter at least 360 people are watching. That's pretty cool. I can't really see the YouTube stuff, but collectively, so we got some people watching. So definitely appreciate you guys coming in listening.
Yeah, shouts to y'all, man. Shouts to y'all out there on Twitter, man. Appreciate y'all. Eru.
Yo.
What's your last words for the people? I guess we get back at it. We get back at it on Thursday, man. We ain't got no goddamn sports for a couple of weeks, man. We done. We gotta chalk up some type of content. It's
a dog days, man. This is what we do though. That we break down stuff that nobody else wants to break down. So I'm tired of listening to other guys. So it's time for us to do our thing, man. So
I turned. All right, before I let you get your last word, put you on a single screen. Y'all listen to this. Y'all turned on somebody's podcast yesterday, a big content creator. I said, yo, I'm bored.
Same thing. I was just scrolling. I saw somebody's pod that had the same subscriber count that I had. So I'm like, let me just click it. I never heard of him before. I clicked it and I just slid over to like a random part of the pod. It was quiet. I slid down to another part of the pod. It was quiet again. So I went backwards to see maybe I just went to the wrong spot. and it was quiet again. So it was like almost like a 2 hour something podcast where he barely was saying anything. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man.
Oh God, man. Yo, Eru, last words, where the people could find you. And please tell people why the hell. And I was about to curse again. Call myself, I'm learning.
Yeah.
But explain to people why the hell they haven't seen you do a live in so goddamn long. I had to call Eru on the goddamn bat phone and all that. Put the bat signal up and all that, man.
Because you know, podcasters don't make no money. That's why, man. You know what I'm saying? I got to get to work. State is actually gonna get in trouble now because he needs to go to work. You know, I posted on Twitter a few minutes ago that I did 84 hours in a week. There's only 80 hours. Excuse me. There's only 40 hours in a work week. I did double plus 4 last week, man. So you know what I'm saying? I need bread. I need to make real money. So you know, could I put in 100? I mean, 80. Could I put in 84 hours worth of podcasting? Yeah, I could. You know what I'm saying? And through working at it, you know, possibly I can get to the point where I would like to be. You know, of course, I would love to do this for a living, but at the same time, too, my wife, I got kids that are sick. I got Tiny Tim and the other guy that needs medication and shit. So it is what it is, man. So you know, just keep supporting Paz. You know, because we're regular people like you guys, man. You know, we just trying to get it done, and you know, we love to do it. You know, and we're just gonna keep doing it as long as it's fun for us, you know. You muted yourself, brother. You muted yourself, man. Muted yourself.
Oh, look, see, I'm in a rush. Yeah. What I got next? Y'all got a Lenny Wilkins Substack coming later on. So be on the lookout for that, everybody. I'm definitely gonna have this audio out later on. Peace and blessings to everybody. Eru, peace and blessings to you.
Yep, no
We
doubt.
just reached 400 people watching live. Appreciate all you 400 junkies that's on here on a Monday.
Junkies, bro.
Junkies. We all junkies. I'm a junkie too. Trust me.
Crackheads, all of us.
But all right, Eru. All right, everybody, man. Everybody, y'all have a blessed day. I gotta get out of here too. Peace.
Peace.